starting in Poland and Ukraine in a week. That is the European Football Cup. We've warned you that the gentlemen are not specialists in football, but I have a tricky question which combines the two areas. How will the European Cup impact the activity in the stock exchange? Putting aside the market situation, if a company wanted to do an IPO or a roadshow within the next 2 weeks, will there be anybody to meet at all? Or when Poland loses the first game, you have to wait for the next game that will be won, and then yeah. But do you feel up to answering it? I think we'll just have to look you'll have to look for the right people in the fan zone, the special zone for football fans. But will the volumes decrease in the markets, in the stock exchange when Poland is playing, or the next day? Luckily, the games start at 6 p.m. when the stock exchange is closed. But do you expect any correlation? Jerzy, maybe you could answer that? But is this question related to the limitations in the liquidity of the privatizations which are about to end in mid-June when we are playing whom? Greece? No, Russia. No, it wasn't a tricky question. No, it's a P company starting with P. Well, half seriously, half jokingly, a roadshow in the Polish stadiums would help a lot a company when doing an IPO. But we are all fans, football fans, and our activity and the activity of the whole economy might decrease a little bit over the next few weeks. But obviously, I would look at it from the perspective of the sentiment. The success of our team would definitely help the market in a country where the market has been so suppressed by the crisis. I think the sparkle of optimism would help a lot, especially with the low valuations of the small and medium-sized companies. Maybe because, well, we've had the stagnation for the past year, so I think this could change. This could trigger an improvement. And we shouldn't be pessimists regarding the prospects of this country. So it's just a question of reversing the sentiment so that something really good starts happening in the stock exchange, which will be followed by other elements. So what would be better for the Polish market? When Poland wins with Greece, or when Greece wins with Poland, and the Greeks feel better, and there will be a better global situation. But we will leave this question unanswered. But when you're leaving, you will be able to paint your faces white and red. I think there is a question. Somebody wants to ask a question. There is the hostess with carrying around the microphone. So if you feel like it. Jacek Fotek, president of Polspot. The main area of the discussion was dominated by the equity market. But that was the title of the panel. Yeah, but I'd like to take advantage of this situation because here we are having representatives of the biggest institutions, especially on the side of institutional investors, and the moderators representing the leading brokers or intermediaries. How do you perceive, in the context of the current cycle in the area of equity, how do you perceive the developments in the strategies based on credit risk and corporate bonds? And to what extent do you take into account the prospects of and the needs of potential issuers in your investment strategies in this respect? I know that PKO BP's secret strategy, sorry, I shouldn't say that I know the secret strategy, but I think the strategy talks a lot about corporate bonds. Yes, we are indeed an institution that believes strongly in the corporate bond market in Poland. I think it's time it finished its virgin period. And the existing situation is already translated into bankruptcies, which are quite normal in this market. As PKO BP, every year we put aside 2 billion zlotys as provisions for credit risk. So we have tens of situations like that. So we have to learn that with corporate bonds, we have credit risk involved and the bankruptcy risk. We believe that this market will develop because Basel III is coming into force, and the banks will have less appetite for long-term financing for investment loans. There will be more willingness to arrange such financing in the bond market. And we believe that a lot will depend on whether the local investor group will develop. We've developed a corporate bond fund. Whether we will see CDSs in Poland developing, we'll see. Maybe some insurers, some pension funds would not like credit risk, but they have long-term liquidity. So they might be interested in placing this long-term liquidity without credit risk. That would be an important factor for the development also in the foreign markets. And from the perspective of liquidity of this market, will the banks, intermediaries or brokers develop their broke desks? Whether they will trade, the question is whether they will trade the securities on the secondary market, and will we finally have an index showing spreads by segment in the different in the different bonds, high yields, investment grades, and so on. A lot of things have to happen here, but I think it's good for the issuers in the market because they can diversify their sources of financing, and it's good for investors because they can diversify. And now, with the current valuations of the credit risk, it's an attractive asset class. Any other questions?
Investment Bank, and here's my question. Why don't you invest in Belarus? Which obstacles you see, and if there is an interest? Thank you.
Który z panów?
Which of you gentlemen? Well, the pension fund cannot invest there, so we will give them a miss. Tomasz? Frankly speaking, we are investing in Belarusian companies indirectly. We have a company called Silvano that has its factory in Belarus. But frankly speaking, Belarus is still associated by us with an even higher level of all kinds of risks than Ukraine. And I think that's the main reasons why we are not actively looking for investment ideas in Belarus. I understand if there are any proposals, you would be happy to have a look at it. Yeah, we will look at all proposals, but generally we have the certain level of acceptable risk set by our clients, and I think that now, as of now, we are looking for markets with lower risk levels. I think there are no more questions. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you very much.